What's up, YouTube? This is Ben. I wanted to do a quick video on my 2016 GMC Canyon. I wanted to wire my radar detector into the fuse panel. I had it running down from the radar detector to the outlet down here, and it caused some issues with the wire being in front of the radio and just some other issues that I didn't like. So I wanted to wire that in, but I did not want to go into the wiring of the rear view camera. That seemed a little more permanent, and I was just a little iffy on how to do that. And I know everyone says it's pretty easy, but I didn't want to possibly mess something up, snip the wrong wire, something like that. So the idea of getting an Add-A-Circuit and just putting it in another circuit into the fuse panel and wiring an aftermarket cable to that Add-A-Circuit, and then something that's simply plug and play, it definitely appealed to me. So I've seen a lot of videos on this and on other vehicles, but I wanted to do it on a 2016 GMC Canyon. It would be very similar to a Colorado version. Probably works on 2015, 16, and 17. So this is just an easy way to do that. I used just two things I purchased. I had to purchase an extension cable for my radar detector. My particular radar detector is a Cobra. You can get those on Amazon for pretty cheap, and it just gives you enough length and the individual wires that you would need to crimp and add on for the positive and the ground. So I purchased that off of Amazon, and then I purchased a ATR, I believe it was, fuse Add-A-Circuit, and that I just purchased at the local AutoZone, and I'll show you that here in just a moment. And all the links will be in the description for those parts for this particular fuse panel and the access to this fuse panel. Some vehicles will use different fuse panels depending on which fuse panel. They'll use different fuses depending on which fuse panel you tap into. So just make sure you pull out the one you're going to use. If you're not using it on this particular vehicle, pull out the one you're going to use and take it in, and they're likely going to have something that will work for your vehicle. In this particular one, I'll show you exactly what fuse it is, what type, and where we're going to put it. So stay tuned. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below, and hope this helps somebody. Thanks. Okay, so for my install of my radar detector, you can see my radar detector right there. I just took the cable, ran it up under the housing there for the mirror, and it's just tucked in there, and I'll show you all this in detail as well. I'm just showing you the finished product. And then it goes along the headliner here, and then it goes to that seam, and it's right under where the carpet and the plastic meet, and it comes over right across there to the weather stripping. You can see it pulled away a little bit right there, but then it follows the weather stripping all the way down to this bottom part here, and then into that fuse panel right there. So I'm going to pull it out and show you exactly how it went. And this piece of trim around the mirror just pulls down. It's pretty easy. Just pull it down, a little bit of force, and you can see there's my cable. I just ran it into there and then along this seam, and it just follows that seam right into here, and you pull this back a little bit, and then I just wound it right around there into the weather stripping right there. And you can see I pulled it out a little bit, but you just run it right along this weather stripping. It's very, very easy to get in there. Not as easy one-handed, but it's not bad. And just tuck it into this weather stripping all the way down, and then it goes across right here into the fuse panel where it's wired in. Alright, so the fuse panel that we're tapping into is on the passenger side, and it's right here. All it's held onto is by this wing nut here, and you just turn that wing nut, pull that off, and then I'll show you what fuse I used and which one you can do to add the fuse tap Add-A-Circuit to. Pull it from the back, it comes right out. You can see in here my Add-A-Circuit is tapped right into there, and then the positive is wired into that, and then the ground for my wire is on this screw here, which is behind some washers to give it some strength. So that is where my ground is wired to, and then my positive is going right into the fuse tap there. On the back of this fuse panel cover, I don't know if you can see this, but it shows you a little diagram of what each one goes to. The one I tapped into is 29, so it's right here on there, and you can see on the list it says 29 goes to miscellaneous run crank. There was a 10 amp fuse in there. Currently, I took that out and added it to my Add-A-Circuit. Put that in there. This is the wire tap that I used Add-A-Circuit. It is ATR Add-A-Circuit. I just got it AutoZone for about $7. And you can see it there. Comes with that circuit there and the crimp to crimp it onto your positive. So you crimp that onto your positive lead for your radar detector cable, and then your negative goes to metal on the vehicle. So I added a 10 amp fuse that was already in the vehicle where I put this one, and that goes along the edge there. So the 10 was in the vehicle, you put that fuse that was in the vehicle along the edge with this wire, and then a 5 should probably be more than enough for radar detector. I added that to this, which is the whole point of the Add-A-Circuit. So that frees up space, makes one spot for a fuse into 2. And this is where I grounded took the ground wire. It's where I put the ground wire because it's closest metal to the vehicle. I just ran the crimped ground wire onto that, and then it's got quite a bit of give, so I added numerous washers there just to make sure that I can get a secure connection. And don't forget to sand down the paint so you can actually make a good ground. If not, it won't ground. And when I was going over bumps, it was turning on and off until I sanded the paint and added those washers to secure it up. So just make sure you do that. Once you have everything wired, you should be able to turn on the car, and it should turn right on. If you have any issues when you're going over bumps and stuff, if it seems to be cutting on and off, I had that problem at first. It's because your ground down there is not secure. So either you didn't paint enough, or you didn't trim enough paint off, sand enough paint down, or like my issue was that there was too much slack in this. It's just not made to secure. So I had to end up having to add all those washers just so there was something for it to screw into and make some resistance, so it kept the ground secure. So if you have any other issues like that, that should be it. Just sand it down a little bit more and make sure that you put some washers back there to secure that ground. Hope that helps. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments, and see you on the next one. Thanks. Bye.